What's going on, guys? So let's talk about the Instinct Forge Pass. Is it worth it? Is it not? I was asked the question on stream a few times. Short answer, yes, it's worth it. It's one of the best deals you can get in the game, especially if you're a low spender. Now, before I dive into it deeper, I want to say tomorrow, Wednesday the 19th, we're having a free gear removal event for artifacts and accessories. They're going to cost 0 to move them around from champion to champion, and it's going to last for 96 hours. So don't move a lot of your stuff right now. Wait till tomorrow to do those big changes. Now, when looking at the Instinct Forge Pass, the gear set alone, or specifically, I'll talk about that in a moment. First, I want to talk about the actual stuff you're going to get. You're going to get about 200 pieces of forgeable gear. You're going to get some Chaos Ore. You're going to get some glyphs. And now you're going to get some pinpoint gear, which I'm not really a fan of. To be honest, we had so much of it drop from the event dungeon. If you farmed the event dungeon, you have probably plenty of accessories, and 6 accessories with a mystery chest of probably pinpoint accessories is not a ton. You could get some quad rolls of speed on a banner, which would be amazing, but for most players, it's probably not going to be super impactful, but it could be great for you. Either way, you're going to get the gear, glyphs, forged materials. That is the main thing you're looking for. Now, you could purchase this today and level up and then pick up the experience and silver boost for all battles as you go along, or you could wait the next 3 weeks and 4 or 5 days until the very last moment. And as long as you're always doing your daily challenges, your weekly challenges will still be completed, and you can just purchase and then claim those and get it finished like that. So it's not a rush. You don't have to decide today. You can wait anytime between now and then. But when it comes to forging the gear from the Forge Pass, I see it pretty often. People will say they had 200 pieces and they forged nothing useful. One of two things. You have a extremely OP account, and it's going to be very difficult for you to get an upgrade, period. Or number 2, you just didn't forge correctly. Whenever I forge the Instinct set, I always come away with several usable sets. And how you do that is you prioritize the weapon, helmet, and shield. And then once you do some of these, you should land on some gloves, chest, or boots that are decent. If you're forging this, I always recommend using the crit rate charm, because this charm is not used on most other sets. It's not really needing a speed charm because the set comes with plus 12% speed anyways. So you can get away from this. It's going to go on a damage dealer, so crit rate's amazing. And then we're going to use weapon, helmet, or shield, and then some mythical charms if you want. So we'll do a 10 pull here. So we have the charms boosting the rates for shields. We have some shields sitting there. Let's go in here and see what this forging session resulted in. So this chest plate right here, maybe it's a decent one, maybe it's not. Who knows? It's actually good no matter what, because it has crit rate, speed, and crit damage on an attack percentage chest plate. This isn't super common, but this makes it super easy to build somebody. It's going to be an attack-based damage dealer. And now all I need is a good shield, helmet, and weapon, and we're going to be fine. So this weapon right here, I think Plarium is boosting the rates of good forges, apparently. So that helmet right there, that weapon right there, just forged, and it's usable. This, not really the most usable necessarily. This, if it went crit rate, it would be usable, no problem. Double roll crit rate, no problem, very usable. I feel like Plarium's boosted the rates for this video, though. Okay, we have no silver now, so that's a potential issue if you're broke on silver. I'm not going to sell this piece because it has defense percentage and speed. It could roll speed and be solid. This is not very good. It could quad roll. You may want to rework it. This could triple roll, but we're not going to do that on this set and that. So we're just going to sell both those pieces. But you can see just from that one 10 pull there I did, which granted that was a pretty lucky 10 pull, I already have literally a set I could use. This piece right here, could I take it to 8? Let's see. This set right here has speed on it, that piece. This has double roll crit rate. And actually, if we were to put this on Narcisse, he's not an attack-based champion, but let's see where we would be at with crit rate. So just this first 10 pull. Now, if we took these gloves and made them crit damage gloves, I'm not going to use this on Narcisse, of course, but just with these pieces, we're already at a good amount of crit rate. A good amount of crit rate. We need 15% more from the boots. Let's see what it would be at if we were to go just priority sets crit rate. Now, of course, like I said, this is absolutely not a Narcisse build. It just wouldn't make sense. But you could definitely do this in this first 10 pull, have a good damage dealing set. So when it comes to the Instinct set, a lot of people push back on it that it's only 20% defense ignore. Now, 20% defense ignore isn't the same as Savage or Lethal, where it's 25, or Merciless at 35. So no, it's not as good as those. But what it is great for is giving your nukers who you didn't have Savage gear for to begin with. Like this account, we look through and look at the Savage gear. The Savage gear is not bad, not horrible, but it's being used on some other champions, and it's just kind of fitting in. We don't have great pieces here. We can maybe fit a few builds, but we just don't have enough time of farming Fire Knight to get good Savage builds. Similar thing with the lethal gear. I think we have a little bit more lethal gear, but just not much good crit rate, crit damage stuff. Maybe we could build a set or two from lethal and Savage, but what about all the other champions who need good gear? We had Newt. We have another Newt. I forgot we had this instinct gear on him. Actually, I did basically all the forging on instinct. I believe on this account, I did a lot of it. So we have a lot of champions built in instinct. Actually, this is a perfect example of an account that you're going to get so much value from instinct. Is this the best build? No, but it's a stepping stone to Savage and to lethal. So right now we have the biggest damage dealers in the account in instinct gear. We have Leo, Somu Kong, Michinaki, both the Newts, and this is a big thing here. Both Newts are in instinct, and this is giving them defense ignore. They wouldn't get this in Savage, and they are going to hit max HP cap eventually anyways. If the target has decreased defense and weaken, it's going to be pretty easy. So getting the extra speed from instinct is so helpful. Let's see who else we have instinct gear on. So we go to equipped. We go to instinct down here. Ninja, he has some pieces. Actually, does he have a full set? I don't even know. He does have a full set. He's not optimized fully on damage, but he does have a full set of instinct gear. The speed helps. Everything's just pretty solid. It's a very good set. Now, when it comes to what is the best Forgepass set, I wouldn't put it at the best, but it is not only useful for mid-game players like this account, mid-game pushing into later content and trying to transition, but it's also really good for players who are, kind of late game, almost end game, because now what you can do is start stripping your champions of this instinct, getting them upgraded to that Savage, lethal, merciless builds, and then taking all this instinct that you have and moving it down to your Cursed City champions, moving it to your Faction War champions, moving it to your Mistrider Dythes. Maybe he's your best nuker, but maybe most in-game accounts probably not using him as a nuker. And if you're not, well, move the instinct gear to him. He's going to hit hard. He already hits hard. Now he's going to ignore some defense, better than just a mismatch set. And you may not have enough Savage to throw on your, back of the backup champions. So just throw that on these champions. Coldheart is a great champion for this to be on. Max HP champions who are going to face the cap anyways, and you don't need to have like Relentless or anything on, are going to be great options for Instinct as well. Now, when it comes to my opinion on which Forge Pass is the best, we have Instinct, Bolster, Defiant, Righteous, Slayer. I'd say Defiant is probably the lowest. I've noticed that in all the takeovers that I do, Defiant is also oftentimes a difficult one to fit in. It is a 2-piece set, which is helpful, but the minus 15% damage taken from enemy AoE attacks typically doesn't really serve a massive purchase. However, it is still a good set. Just because it's, in my opinion, the worst of the Forge Pass sets doesn't mean it's a bad set. It's still very useful in specific situations, like trying to survive versus the Ice Golem, maybe trying to survive versus the Sand Devil, some arena stuff as well. You can slide this in. It works great. But it'd be the bottom for me. The second place would probably be, it'd be either Instinct or Bolster. Bolster, which this is going to be actually, I don't know if I want to say that. They're different because Bolster is very good later in the game, and it's an extremely powerful Forge Pass set. It's going to be very useful. But early on, I think you may notice a bigger, actually no, they may be pretty close to each other. Honestly, all the other Forge Pass sets are extremely useful. Bolster used to be that Narses was running around everywhere, and that in the arena, Bolster just wasn't as powerful. But now that he's kind of not picked as often, Bolster's extremely powerful, and it was extremely powerful then as well. So I don't think classifying it as the second lowest is fair either. Righteous is really good because it's a set. As far as the stats here, they're not very good. But the reason why Righteous is so good, and I'm rating it so highly, is because it is basically a speed set. It's 2% less speed than a speed set, and it's 200 pieces of forgeable gear. You throw your speed charms into that, and you have potentially your fastest gear on your account from Righteous. So as far as the bonuses, Righteous is down low. But since you can forge essentially speed sets, Righteous gets boosted up a lot. So as far as the bonuses, I'd say Defiant to the bottom, Righteous next to that. Slayer's a tough one because some champions it is absolutely game. Actually, Slayer's probably the best. I think that's probably fair. I'd say Slayer number 1, Bolster number 2, Instinct very close to number 3, Righteous 4, and Defiant 5. Slayer, the reason why it's so good is not because of the 9-piece set of Slayer. It's because, in my opinion, because of the 4-piece and somewhat the 6-piece as well. The 4-piece is extremely helpful for champions who do AoE damage on any of those skills. I'm thinking Nekmothar, possibly even Eostrid. Any champion who has an AoE effect that actually hits the enemy to boost their turn meter, and then you can fit a different 4-piece set on that champion. And then if you're able to get a champion like a Ray or a Geralt in a 6-piece or even a 9-piece, they really start to do great. Or just getting the single piece for the extra 5% crit rate. So Slayer is a very, very flexible set. So Slayer is a flexible set. I definitely recommend purchasing. Bolster is a very powerful set for protecting yourself in wave content. PvP, it's fantastic in. It's a really strong set as well. Instinct is game-changing for mid-game accounts that haven't farmed Fire Knight enough, who don't really have good defense ignore stuff. Instinct is game-changing. Righteous, the set bonuses is not anything super special as far as like farming this versus speed. I would definitely farm speed, but this is just purchasable and you get to forge a bunch of it, so that makes this so strong. And then Defiant at the bottom, just because it's difficult to fit it in. That's my opinion on the Forge Pass sets. Let me know where you guys would rank. So that's my opinion on the Forge Pass sets there. Let me know where you guys would rank them. I think all of them are worth purchasing for sure. Even if just for like the gears, of course, the focus, but the glyphs and such are very nice to pick up as well. So the Forge Pass, strong thing to get. Let's go check out some of the arena runs here and see how well the Leo and Wukong are actually doing. So we have Leoris in this speed team here. He'll be one-shotting him, no problem. The Hegemon's not built, though he could be an Instinct as well. Leo one-shots everything, no problem. Let's go see if he one-shots here. Hopefully we're faster. Not super fast, so probably... Actually, we do have Hegemon. Kind of forgot about him. There we go. 70,000 damage. This is not a great built Leo. He's still missing some attack. Actually, how questionable is his build? Because he has the same defense ignore as Savage, but he's missing some extra attack percentage. That's the issue, is that we don't have the most attack percentage. If we got it up to like 6,000 or so, then he's going to be starting to hit pretty daggone hard. But this is a solid Leoris. Now, if we switch over to Wukong, this is not going to kill anything here probably. Yeah. But Leo's going to come back with his A2, and then he's going to start doing some killing. Arbiter's dead, unfortunately. We have the burn on the Leo. Camera's going to reset. And then let's do the A2. We kill basically everything. Very cool stuff. The block revive there. And then Hedgie ends up killing him. So that's good stuff. Now if we go in here and see, okay, let's check out the, use a free gym refresh. Not free, but one gym refresh. Let's go, instead of Leo, let's go Wukong. See how this one plays out. This will be just another damage dealer. The Fire Knight team we have him running currently is Fire Knight Stage 6. And the two newts do perfect there. We'll hit the Arbiter. Kills everything. Plenty of damage. Not a problem there whatsoever. So basically, guys, without being a shield for Plarium, the Instinct Forge Pass is something that will make a significant difference for most players' accounts, even if you're the late game side of things. Like my account, I purchased it on, and I have plenty of good gear. But now I can move the less important champions into Instinct and start having their sets more organized. And then my better built champions, my more used champions, will be in Savage, Lethal, and Merciless. Of course, Merciless and all these areas are farmable for free or farmable regularly, but Instinct, solid value, solid set, one of the better Forge Pass sets in my bottom, solid, I guess actually right in the middle, right at 50%, mid-tier Forge Pass set that can be very impactful for specific accounts. But guys, thank y'all for watching the video. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Instinct set, and I'll catch you in the next one.